Good morning, everyone. This is not my normal time to go live, but I wanted to hop on, and I probably wanted to have my microphone a little closer. I wanted to hop on and offer you a sneak peek inside of Branding Bootcamp, and I wanted to show you a really cool way to use Facebook groups to organize a course. There's a really neat feature inside of Facebook groups that allows us to organize what they call guides. They used to be called learning units, but they renamed them, and it's just the coolest feature ever. So, for those of you who are running Facebook groups, whether they're free or paid, I think you're going to find this really useful. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into how I use these inside of Branding Bootcamp. So you're going to get a tour of what the inside of the group looks like. And you're also going to watch me actually start implementing the guides inside of the new group, which is going to be getting started next week. Let me update a couple of links here real quickly before I proceed. Okay, that is updated. So if you are joining me live, or if you're joining on the replay, say good morning. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let me know if you've ever been inside of a group that uses the guides feature. I just think it's the coolest thing. I think it's highly underutilized. And I think it's something that most groups could benefit from using. So, all right, what we're going to do today, we're going to keep things short, but like I said earlier, we're going to give you a sneak peek inside of Branding Bootcamp and how the course is formatted and all of the things that come inside of the course. I'm going to show you how to use Facebook guides inside of your Facebook group. If you admin a group, I'm going to show you how to turn the guides on, how to format them, and that's going to be a neat little thing. And I'm also going to be answering some of the questions that I've been receiving about Branding Bootcamp via email and DMs for the past couple of weeks, because I figured if those teachers have questions about it, you might have questions about it too. So we're going to go over all of that stuff this morning. Okay. I'm going to double check that we have everything's running okay on YouTube and everything is running okay on the Book of Face. It looks like we are good to go. All right, so let's get started. One of the things that I love about running this course is that we build the course as we go. All of my content is done, like all the content's done, but the course has a lot of interesting aspects. We have a lot of live aspects because we meet every Friday at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. So we are live on Zoom. Those Zoom meetings get recorded, so you get access to all the classes and the slides and everything, and you can watch them over and over again. And I'm going to demonstrate how we do this and how it gets organized in a way so that even after the class is totally done, you have access to everything. And we've made a course inside of this Facebook group that you can revisit again and again. So we're going to do some screen sharing here. And hopefully I have everything set up the way it's supposed to go. I think I do. Yay. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take this off of here. That is always fun because there we go. Okay, so we're going to get started and I'm going to show you around some things here, and let me take some of these things off of the screen so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here is what it looks like inside of our fall branding boot camp, and I'm going to show you the spring group in a moment, but I wanted to show you how this is organized. So Facebook has this super cool feature called guides, and guides are where you can order the content that you've put in there and make it really convenient for the members of your group to go step by step. So I'm going to start here just to overview what we have in these guides. So our first guide in Branding Bootcamp is the Welcome Guide. And inside of this guide, I have a navigation video that shows you exactly what to do inside of the course so that when you're there, you don't feel lost and you're not sure what to click. So I update this navigation video every time we do the course because, Facebook always has these little tiny changes that it puts into place, which, kind of drives us bonkers. But So we put that together here. You watch the navigation video. It shows you how to do everything. So like, I'm just going to give a little demonstration here. When you click on one of these things, it will open up what's inside of the guide. So you can see here, now I'm inside of the welcome guide, and we can go through each one of these things. This is my favorite part. We can click the done button, and then you see over here on the left hand side it gives you a little green check mark. So as you go through all of the content, you're checking things off as you go. These are all of our just little intro posts, and you can see that these green arrows on the side, my overlays are in the way so I can't see them. These green check marks on the side start showing up, and once you finish a guide, then you will get a little note that says, hey, you finished this guide. I don't get it because I'm an admin, which kind of makes me feel sad. But so let me come back here. Now you can see it shows that I have completed all of the information inside of that guide. So that's just like a little overview of what the guides look like. But let's look at how the content inside of the course is actually set up. So I'm going to come back here for a second to, hey, I see there are several people joining me live. If you're here, please say hello and let me know if you've ever used a Facebook group that had all of that cool stuff in there. I was going to bring back, there it is. Okay, so let me overview what's inside of the course. So I've mentioned here that we have live classes. There are 7 live classes, and these live classes are 2 hours long. They're recorded each time. So even if you can't attend live, you can watch the replay. And just like the regular weekly broadcasts, I am there to have conversations with you if you're attending on the replay. So you can ask questions and all that good stuff. Inside of the classes, we spend 1 hour going through our materials, and then we answer questions, and then we jump straight into working on the content and working on the assignments. So with this, you get the live video and the teaching and the ability to ask questions and the ability to get work done immediately with the group, so that if you get stuck inside of a workbook, you have the possibility to ask a question right then and there and get feedback. So speaking of the workbooks, that's another element inside of the course that's really important. Every single week, you get a new workbook that guides you through how to implement and create the branding foundations that we talked about in class. And I'm going to show you what those workbooks look like in just a moment. I have individualization in my Clifton strengths, and I also have strategic. So if anybody here loves Clifton strengths like I do, like just pop Clifton strengths down below. Anyway, and if you're curious about my other strengths, let me know and I'll tell you. But because I have that individualization and strategic, for me, it's really, really important that everybody who takes the class has a way to work that will feel authentic to the way their brain works. So the workbooks have a couple of different options. You have an option for a PDF that you can download, print out, and do all the writing. You also have the option to work inside of a Google Doc if you prefer to type, and your brain loves to be able to work with your fingers and type. That's kind of me, but I'm also the person that wants to be able to write stuff down if I'm brainstorming. So I've used both for myself. And I'll actually say, like last year when, or it was in 2020 when we ran Branding Bootcamp, I actually did the class with everyone because I was going through a rebrand too. And in this round, I'm also going to be doing some, visiting some things with Savvy Music Studio and doing some rebranding activities myself. So again, I'm going to be using the materials that we use for the course. So you've got the live videos, you've got the workbooks, and we're going to take a look at what the workbooks look like. And then we're going to walk through how the guides are organized. So we're going to screen share again here and get this guy out of the way. Okay, so back into the class here, I mentioned that there are workbooks. So that is all located inside of this second guide here, and that's where all the downloadables are. So for instance, we have inside of the class, like we'll be having discussions inside of our videos, and if I mention a book that I think is useful, or if a teacher mentions a book that they think is useful, we've put together like a list, a Google Doc that we build every week with a list of books and resources that we've mentioned so that you have access to all of that stuff. And then each week you get a download. There we go. It's going to load here. So here's an example, okay? For week 1, we talk about ideal clients, and we're really digging into how to identify them, how to understand who they are. And we have a variety of things that you can download here. So we have the PDF for the ideal clients, and we also have Google Docs for each one. So you can download both, you can download one, whatever you want. And then you get to work inside of that. Now, what I'm really excited about is that in the last week, we've actually been rebranding the workbooks, and I'll give you a little preview of what those look like. I'm so excited about them. One of our team members, Caleb, he is the one who has been working on the branding bootcamp. Whoops, sorry. Trying to find the link of where this is. I know it's in here somewhere. He has been working on these workbooks, and they absolutely look amazing. And I'm trying to find them right now. Let me see if I can grab them somewhere. Branding workbooks. There they are. Okay, sweet. So here's a little preview of what our branding workbooks look like. We have a couple that are not added in here yet because we're going to be updating those. But you can see like each one of these will be downloadable as PDFs, but we also have them as the Google Docs, so you can work either way. So those, that's a little sneak peek of what these guys look like. And then let's jump into how the guides are organized. So I'm going to pop back over here into our Facebook group. So we have our welcome guide. We have our downloadables where all the downloadables are easily accessible to you. And then I want to show you what each week looks like. Each week here, you're going to see a few things that pop up into the guides. You're going to have the video replay. So if I click on this here, you can see we've got the video replay of the class itself. So if I pause this for a second, I can kind of scrub this over. Trying to find, oh, that was our intro. That's right. What you'll see is we go through, times when we're chatting and we're answering questions and all that stuff. And then we also get into the actual class portion of it where we're looking at slides, where we're learning the content and doing all of that cool stuff. So with all of that, then you have time during the video, during our live class, I should say, to ask questions, and then we get straight to work inside of the content. I've also made it so that since we're using these classes on Zoom, oftentimes we're using the chat and we're saying some pretty brilliant things. So the chat is saved, and you can, if you're watching on the replay, you can look at everything that everyone has been saying, and you can check out like the links and extra resources that we may have mentioned as well. Each guide also has assignments in it, and it's easier for you to see this if I do it like this. So you have your video replay, you have your video chat file, and then you have your assignments. Each week you have assignments that are dropped, and this is where you can get feedback on what you're doing inside of the class. So for instance, in week 1, we're working on our ideal client avatars, and you're filling out these worksheets. And if you have questions or you're stuck on a specific item inside of that, you can upload your worksheet there in response to each and every assignment, and you get feedback directly from me. So if I open up this post to give you an idea, 107 comments on this post. So everybody in the class was uploading their documents. I was coming into every single one of those and giving direct feedback on what you've provided in your workbook. And I'm answering questions. I'm giving you further things to think about so that you really do have that huge amount of support to get this work done. And then each week we also have, again, coming back here, we have additional assignments that allow you to dig a little bit deeper into what you've learned and how you can use that information in developing your studio brand. So every single week is organized inside of the guides, the replays, all of that stuff. And you can see we got a lot of content in there. So each one of these weeks, we've got all the content. So that is a little bit about how we use the guides. In a moment here, I am going to show you, let me come back to the screen. I'm going to show you how you can actually set up guide units on your own. So stick around for the end of the video here if you want to get a tutorial about how you can actually implement guides inside of your own Facebook group. I just think it's super duper cool. I see we've got some viewers here. Please be sure to say hello. Tell me what you're doing this morning. I'm going to take a little sip of coffee because I'm still in coffee mode. And I want to show you guys this because it's my favorite. This is my little Bjorn and Freya mug that I got for my 40th birthday, and it gives me life. Okay, so I'm going to answer some quick questions here that were sent to me via DM and via email about the class, because I figure if teachers have questions, you probably have questions too. So let's go through these. Let's see. And if you do want to get a hold of the information about the course, if you drop a branding below, that's where you're going to be able to get the information about that. So just put branding below, and then you can check out exactly everything that's inside of the course. You can learn, how it's formatted. I'm going through that here today, but sometimes, you want to be able to read it. So drop a branding below if you want to check that out. Okay, let's answer some questions that I've been receiving. Okay. Question number 1, when are the live classes? The live classes happen every Friday starting March 4th. We meet on Fridays from 12 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. So we meet for 2 hours on Fridays. There will be 1 week in March where I'm traveling and we will not have class. So we have the week of Friday the 18th, we don't have class. So we start on March 4th. Those 7 classes run, I'm looking over at my calendar because I have a wall calendar that helps me stay organized. Those 7 classes go through April 22nd. Okay, so the live classes are on Fridays, but let's answer this question because this one's really important. Are there replays? 100%. So I provide replays in a couple of different ways because I want to make sure that the content is completely protected and that, there's no way that you wouldn't get a hold of the replay. We actually use Zoom and broadcast directly into the Facebook group. So there's an automatic replay saved inside of the group. I also record the classes to my own device. So in case something happened and like Facebook glitched, I have an extra backup copy as well. All right, so those are 2 questions. If anyone who's watching right now has questions about Branding Bootcamp, drop them in the chat and I will answer them. We're going to go for about like 7 more minutes here. All right, and then another question that people have asked, how long do I have access to this course? So a couple answers for this. 1, we start on March 4th, right? And actually, we get started on Monday. So we're starting on February 28th with our Get to Know You week. So we've got a lot of good information that's going to go out next week. We start on March 4th. The live classes run through April 22nd. I am probably going to throw in an additional Q&A in the following month because I've noticed that I think we need that. You then have an additional month. You have until the end of May to get additional support from me. So if you're working on your website, if you're working on your socials and you need feedback on them, you get an additional month to ask all your questions and get the feedback. At that point, then the Facebook group gets archived, or it used to be called archived. It's now called paused. But here's the deal. You still have access to all of the content inside of that. So when I showed you, okay, let me come back to our group here. When I showed you this group, another screen share here, you can see at the top it says this group is paused, all right? But the deal is you still have access to every single thing inside of the group. You can pop into the discussion tab. You can see everything that everyone has posted, and you can still do all of the content and access all of the videos. So to answer that question, as long as Facebook keeps our groups, you have access to this content. And in fact, I've had several Bootcamp alumni who have told me that they've gone back into their Facebook group and they've redone the content on their own 1-2 years later. So you have access for a while here. Oh, I see that Julie's joined us. She said that she took branding bootcamp a couple years ago and she still uses what she's learned today. I love it. Oh, okay. I know. But autocorrect. It was Brandon bootcamp. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Okay, so let's keep going on with these questions, and then I'm going to show you how you can set up units in your own Facebook group because I think it's super cool. Okay, another question. What if I don't have a website or socials yet? No problem. I've had many teachers who have joined Branding Bootcamp who don't have a website at all, or maybe they bought a website and it was just a domain name with a placeholder on it and they haven't done anything to it yet. That is totally fine. One of the things that we really focus on in this course is developing the materials so that you can create a website. Our goal is to empower you to understand your ideal client, to understand how you can communicate the features and benefits of the services that you offer in a way that makes it easy for you to write website copy, in a way that makes it easy for you to create a website that's easy to navigate. So if you don't have a website or if you're not using social media yet, that's okay. You're still going to learn a ton inside of the group because there will be other teachers there who have websites and socials. And this is where we get into something that's super cool. Let me screen share again. One of the bonuses of the class is that you get a personalized website and social media audit from me. So those who do have websites and social media, I take the time to go through your website, all of your socials, and provide you with specific advice as to where you can improve. And then all of those feedback videos are added into a Google document where you can watch not only yours, but you can watch the videos of other people. So you can learn from what other people have done. So you can see we've got like a 7-page document with all of these videos on there. That's like one of my favorite things. Okay, let's come back to the screen here and answer a couple more questions. Amy's like, your website audits are awesome. Thank you, Amy. I really think that one of the most valuable ways that we can learn is to look at what we currently have and then think about how we make small tweaks in order to make it a little bit better, right? So I love doing the audits. It's one of my favorites. So here's another question. I didn't type it up on the screen. What are some of the bonuses that are included? So in addition to the 7 classes, the 3 months of support that you have inside of that private Facebook group, you have my support, you have the support of all the teachers who are attending. In addition to that, you get the social media and website audit, which I just talked about. You're also going to get a one-on-one call with me so that you can like get specific advice from me, right? You get a really cool bonus that I want to share. There is a bonus that you get that includes 100 Canva templates that you can use for your studio. And this is one of my favorite things. Let me show you what this is. I purchase, for every single person who's in the class, I purchase access to Katya Verbanova's viral content marketing template bundle. So you get access to this template bundle. She has it housed inside of Kajabi. It's super duper organized. So like you get access to this course where you get the templates, you get specific advice from her as to how to use them inside of Canva, and you get all of these like really cool bonuses that come along with it. So I just wanted to give you like a really quick idea of as to how this works. Like with her templates, you get these amazing PDFs that guide you through, and like each one of these, they're super duper organized so you can see what all of the templates look like and you can edit them on your own time. It is one of my favorite things, and I know that so many teachers who join the class are super excited about the access to those, and they're so pretty and they're so easy to use. And so in addition to getting Katya's course, right, where she describes how to use them, I actually make my own video too with some of my tips and tricks that show you how to really utilize those templates to the fullest. And if you're not sure, like you're like, I don't know if I'd like these templates, let me show you. Now, some of the templates that I'm going to be showing you here are actually templates from her content club, but a lot of the templates that I use on my own Facebook page are directly from her. So let me show you some examples of this. Like over on my Facebook page, some of these templates, like this one here, this group coaching one, totally a Katya template. And this guy, totally a Katya template. A lot of the things, Katya template. Like these are my own ideas on the template, but she makes it easy to do because she's already provided the Canva images and everything like that. So a lot of the things that you see, here's another one. A lot of the things that you see coming across my socials are directly from Katya's template club, and that this viral marketing template bundle is like one of my favorite bonuses. Okay. Let's answer a final question here. If anybody else has questions, if you have a question right now, drop it in the chat. And if you have a question on the replay, like ask your question and I'll come back in and answer it. Hey, Pete, nice to see you. Another Branding Bootcamp alumni. Nice to see you. All right. So, by the way, I want to let you guys know there are only 3 spots left for Branding Bootcamp. So if you are on the fence and you want to join us for this spring class, now is the time. Let's see here. Okay. Final question. How much is the investment? All right. So this class is chock full of information. You're getting 7 classes with me. That's 14 hours of class. You get access to all of those replays. You get all of the workbooks. You get your social media audit. You get a one-on-one call with me. You get Katya's templates. And I believe I'm probably missing some of the things that you that you get because there's just so many things that sometimes I forget. So I'm going to pop over and make sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. But with all of this, right? What is the investment? So the investment in a one-time payment is $797. You get lifetime access to all of this stuff, or I should say, as long as Facebook continues to have the groups, you get access to all of that for $797. I also have access to payment programs. So if putting all of that cash down up front is not something that's in your budget right now, you can split up your payments. So I have a payment option for 3 months at a time, and it's $267. And if that isn't going to work for you, contact me privately and let's talk about how we can put together a payment plan that will work for you. Okay, so that's everything about Branding Bootcamp. If anybody has any additional questions, let me know. Now I'm going to show you how to use guides in your Facebook unit, and I'm actually going to be walking through how me setting up guides inside of the spring class, because this afternoon I'm going to be welcoming people into our class, which I'm super excited about. Okay, here's our spring group, and I want to show you how you can turn on the guides feature for your private Facebook group if you have one, whether it's paid or free. This is something that's super cool. So watch this tutorial carefully. All right, so I'm inside of my group, and on the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll down to group settings. And once I'm in group settings, I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to find underneath customize group, there's a thing that says group type. So I'm going to click on the little pencil there, and you can see they've made some changes here. Now, in order to turn on social learning, you're actually going to go into the features section. So we go to features, and then we can actually do all kinds of settings inside of here, and I'm going to do some of those later. But what we want to do is we're going to scroll over under feature sets until we find the learning post. So we're going to add this set to the group. It says learning set has been added to your group, and we can see that there's some other things in here where people can make anonymous posts and things like that. We're not going to have anonymous posts inside of our group. All right, so now at the bottom here, you can see it's turned on guides. And I'm going to click on settings and it says display as a button at the top of our group. Yes, I want that. Excellent. So now I'm going to go to home, and you can see that guides have been added to the tabs here. So now if I go to guides, I can start a guide here. So I'll click start guide, and I'll say unit 1, or oh, I don't need to say that because it says guide 1. Welcome to Branding Bootcamp. Done. All right, so now I've created a guide, and I can create posts inside of the guide. But what I would do here is then create all of my guides. Now I have guide number 2, that's our downloadables. And then I would do like week 1, ideal clients, and branding foundations. So it's really simple to create these guides here. And with each guide, you can, I didn't do this, but if we click that 3 dots and click edit, you can put a description in the guide that really tells people like what that's about. So it's just a really neat way to organize your groups. So now that I've done that, I want to show you what happens. Okay, so I'm on the guides tab right now, and you can see it now has those guides set up. So as we build the course, it will be really similar to what I've had here inside of this course, where you can see we've built all the content. So there you go. I hope that that little tutorial is useful for those of you who have Facebook groups and you want to make them extra special for all of the members in your groups. That guides unit is a really great way to do that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up and head off because I've got lots of trainings to run today, and I'm going to be welcoming people inside of Bootcamp and getting everything started. If you are interested in joining us, drop a branding down below, and the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you and give you information about the course. Again, there are 3 spots left, and we're getting started next week. So if you have questions, reach out to me via DM. Put something in the comments here, and I can reach out to you. And I really look forward to supporting all the teachers who have joined us for the 2022 class. Thanks all. I will be back next week with our regularly scheduled broadcast. We're going to be examining 3 terms. We're going to be looking at branding, marketing, and sales, and how those 3 things are often confused with one another. But if we can really understand what each term means and how they interact together, we can create this brilliant sales strategy. All right, that's all for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next time.